Mayong adlaw para sa tanan. I am Junri Anthony M. Remolio, an MS Plant Breeding student here in Central Mindanao University. And I am presenting this because I would like to share my takeaways or thoughts about big data. And it is very important for us to talk about it, especially its promising opportunities for us, no, or for me working as a crop science practitioner, as a faculty in an academic institution, because the things that we will be able to learn about this would also be passed on to our students. And being a crop science practitioner and becoming a future researcher, and it is very important also for me to have a deeper grasp about this, especially when we talk about some ethical issues arising, regarding this matter. Data is very important because with data, you can be able to store vital information through the years. And as a crop science practitioner in general, or a practitioner dealing with experimental hardcore science, we are much more inclined with handling data. And it's very inevitable for us to talk about data because uh, these are considered as raw materials or raw transcripts that would help us translate into our substantial information about the study through statistics. And according to Carl Person, statistics is the grammar to science. And that is how important for us to talk about data. And now, we will dive to our main topic about big data. And as you can see in the slide, there are several words or terminologies that suitably describe or represent what we call big data. And in general, big data is a term that refers to a tremendously large sets of data that are intended for computational analysis that can be used to advance research through revealing trends and association. Take a look at this picture in this slide. So this is actually an app lock, which is a product of advanced technology. It would provide us sophisticated tools in order to give privacy, especially with the data that we store in our smartphones or even in laptops. And the unique thing about this just uh, it uses our unique fingerprint in order to secure the data that we are trying to store. So this constitute data. And in general, big data considered or constitutes a lot of numbers that are gathered from particular sources, but once analyzed and interpreted, it serves as the grammar of science. And more data doesn't just allow us to see more things or even see new and better things. It allows us to see different, and having a big data allows us to think of something new, different in understanding. And even in plant breeding, we see diversity as beauty. And the more data that we can gather, then we could possibly come up with better results. In the eyes of ethics, however, there are some instances that data is abused or being misused. No? It is being misused apart from its original source, why it is being gathered or why is it being gathered. So for example, if you want to promote a particular product, if you put yourself in the shoe of the business people. Now there are some instances that business people try to optimize some data now in favor of their business, and they are using some confidential data in order to promote their product and discriminate the others. Okay, those are just one of the issues or things that violates an ethical standard of your field of discipline, especially for business people. They try to use confidential data in order to promote their product and then discriminate others, especially their rivals in the business. And the worst is they are trying to extract data without prior consent. A factor in the big rise of the big data is that it is considered as an open data, and in particular data collected using government resources or made available for broad use. And it is open in such a way that it can be accessed with just one click. And there are corresponding risks that might be accumulated uh, consequently. And it also therefore introduces potential harm or potential risk or extensive harm on the part of those people who are not intended to get involved in a particular research. And by principle, it is suggested that research communities, in whatever institutions they are inclined, it is suggested that they should develop a code of conduct in order, or a code conduct related to the use of the big data. It is very important. And we are trying to achieve respect, autonomy, especially for those people or group of people that are involved, or not intentionally get involved in the research. And it is important for us to have PIC, or a prior informed consent. That is a basic protocol, especially when you handle a large set of data, or what we call the big data. And we also ought to achieve equity, no? Especially that big data can help overrepresented populations while not providing to or even possible harm, especially for populations that are underrepresented. And then we also promote privacy. We need to protect privacy. And big data research can potentially pose a wide range of risk to individuals, especially when privacy protection would not be considered. And the harmful risks, we shall consider in this particular topic, would accumulate or might accumulate violation, especially for the privacy of people. And remember that privacy is a fundamental right for every individual. For my concluding statement, I would like to share this statement that big data are tools, not toys. And it is imperative for us to remind ourselves that it's good to be practical, but we make sure that all the things that we do in whatever field of discipline we are in, we make sure that it's logical. No, it's good to be practical, but we make sure it's logical, moral, and biblical. Now, we should not live with the standards or the ethical standards that we are trying to be grounded of. And as a crop science practitioner, in order to maintain a good integrity and reliability with our clients, for me as a faculty, no, technically my clients are my students, no, we should optimize big data as tools in order to help and contribute, no, rather than to misuse it like a toy. So thank you very much for listening and have a great day, everybody.